everyone. Hello, it's Diana, and if you don't know me, I am a solo artist, and I use the creative arts to discuss mental health. So I am coming to you every day at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm just sharing with you a quick exercise that I've learned in some of the classes I've taken on depression and anxiety. So I'm sure right now is a very unprecedented time, and things might look a little different than they did a few months ago for you. So now is a time where being aware of our mental health is important more than ever, I would argue. So I wanted to share this quick exercise with you that you can do every day if you want with me at 11 a.m. or you can do on your own. Sometimes I'll do it throughout the day, or you can do it with loved ones. You can do it with children. It's really just a tool that you can have in your toolbox if you're feeling some feelings, which we all feel because we are human beings, right? Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so what you're gonna need is you're going to need a piece of paper, and you're gonna want some coloring utensils. I have been using crayons. I've been doing this exercise daily for almost 30 days now. Oh my gosh, I know. And I've been using crayons. It's been a new thing for me, but hey, I'm enjoying it, so I'm going to continue in this medium. You can use paint if you like. You can use markers. You can really use whatever you want. I am not a visual artist. My medium is usually performance and characters and improv and comedy, but I found this tool to be very effective when I learned it, so I hope that it serves you as well. So what we're gonna do is take your coloring utensils. I have this big box of crayons. So take your coloring utensils, and we just want to check in with ourselves, and we are going to draw our thoughts and emotions in this current moment. Just take a quick snapshot, and if you were to draw your current emotions as a weather report, what would that weather look like? So is it sunny in your inner world? You might have clouds, but the clouds might not be heavy. They might be light clouds. They might be very heavy clouds with rain and thunderstorms and lightning bolts that are actually glitter. You can really do whatever you want in your weather report because this is your world. You don't have to stick to just weather. Weather is just a guiding tool, so that, if I sit down and someone's like, well, draw how you're feeling. First of all, I probably would not do it. Second of all, I would probably, for me, a person who has anxiety, I probably would be too overwhelmed. And so again, I wouldn't do it. And you don't have to. If you just want to join me and look at this fun cat, you can do that too. It's all about what serves you. So another thing that I do sometimes in this exercise is if I don't know what I'm feeling and I don't know what I'm thinking, and I might be like, I don't know. I will just pick a color that speaks to me, that makes me happy, and I will put it to the page and I'll see what comes out. And oftentimes it's quite surprising. So let's draw. You can check in with yourselves a couple ways. You can do it if you want to do a body scan and just see where you're holding tension. Things might be tight, things might be joyful in certain parts of your body. The body often gives us clues to how we are feeling. If you don't like going into your body, then you don't have to do that either. It's really whatever works for you. And sometimes I will just check in with my mind. Sometimes I won't check in at all, and I will say, like I did, just put a pen to the paper and see what comes out. Okay, so let's check in with ourselves and start to draw. And it's quick. It's only about like a minute or two that you draw. Because I find that whatever is the first answer is the answer. Sometimes it's not the answer we want, but it's the answer. So, but that's what works for me. Okay, so what are we thinking and what are we feeling? What's the weather like in this moment? Oh no, I dropped a crayon. pathway. All right, well, if you want to take a couple more minutes, you can totally do that and take as long as you want to draw. You can do this, again, like I said, you can do this with loved ones. It might be really interesting to see, you know, what is happening in their inner world versus what's happening in yours. We're at home now, and there are different stressors, of course, that are, you know, might make things have a little more pressure on things. And so we might get mad at our partner or our spouse, but that sometimes is misdirected anger, because we might really just be frustrated with the lack of control, or, you know, there's so many things that are happening right now. So this is just an exercise, a fun little exercise you can do to check in with each other and connect. This is what I drew. For me, this is interesting. I don't really know what these feelings are at all, but that's what I drew. So I started with a big orange sun, and the rays of the sun are going all the way out. This actually is, yes, a sun, and there's warmth, but it's actually aggressive. So although it is giving rays of light and it's warm, I also, it feels good and it feels comfortable, but it also, I can't really say that it is 100% warmth. But it's going all the way out. And I was having fun drawing the rays. And so then I drew this green pathway. I, again, don't really know what this feeling is either. And oftentimes with our feelings, they can seem overwhelming or they can seem confusing, but our mind, it's helpful for our mind to categorize them. So even if you don't have words or language with what you're feeling, just having a shape also will allow the mind to say, oh, I guess that is there. So with this pathway, the pathway feels a lot more comfortable for me. It is green, yes, which I would associate with sickness, or I would associate with not necessarily a color that I usually will pick. But this feels like a ribbon, actually. And it crosses, at first it crosses the ray of the sun, and it is crossing, and then it just flows around. It just flows around the rays of the sun. So yeah, this piece of the picture actually is very comforting for me, even though it is in green. And the meandering of it is also comforting for me, because it is not one straight path. And right now, there's not one straight path. And the path might be long. We don't really know. I find this to be true with managing mental health in general. It doesn't always look how we expect. It oftentimes is meandering, and oftentimes you will dip and you will rise. So just be aware of that for yourself. I know that's something with managing depression and anxiety is something that I've really had to be compassionate for myself and for others. We all cope differently, and that's just part of us with our complexity as humans. So then in the other area of the picture, I have this blue. And at first I thought it was going to be another sun, but it is actually the moon. I know, I did not expect that. So it's the moon, and it is the weight, it is the counterbalance to the sun. So in my mind, this picture is speaking to balance. And we would think that the blue would be sadness, I would think, and I would think the sun would be happiness, but in fact, it's the opposite. The blue for me is comforting, whereas the sun for me is might be a little too strong. So this is really lovely for me, the balance. Then I can't take away the fact that there is some aggression within me. These are a very personal portion of my life that I do talk about in my solo show Shattered. But this piece of me is very painful. And in sharing with you and in sharing with, if you're doing this with loved ones, I often will share just in general terms, because sharing in specifics might make people upset. And so when you are in group settings, whether you're in like a group, a support group or whatever, oftentimes in the ones I've been in, they've asked to share in general form unless people are prepared for the specifics. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, so this portion of my picture is some very deep, old pain, which I really can't deny that is there. So I drew that, but what I did was, I love finding solutions in my pictures. I did it and I drew a orb of yellow around it because I'm aware that this piece of me needs a lot more healing, and that's okay. And then I took it upon myself to cross it out in red. Does it take it away? No. Does it give me the ability to have power and choice over this kind of stuff? Yes. It doesn't take it away. A lot of times it doesn't take any of this away. But these are ways that I can find comfort in what I am thinking and feeling and doing. And so what this really speaks to me, and what I really woke up this morning thinking a lot about, is choice. And in my work, my performance work, it's all about the many pieces of our minds and the voices that we hear. And we have the choice to stay in these places or to find solutions of how to manage it, because we don't deserve to be in pain at all. That doesn't take it away though, of course. And I really like the balance in this picture, because that for me too is a choice to live between these two balanced pieces, these two balanced orbs. So yeah, that's what is going on today with me. I know we all have various challenges that we're going through right now, and it is an unprecedented time. So I invite you to join me every day at 11 if you like to do quick art therapy. I will usually show you this cat. And take care of yourself. These times they're different for everyone, and there are compound factors, of course, involved. But there are solutions and there are choices, and it's temporary. So we'll get through this together. And yeah, I hope to see you all tomorrow. Okay, bye. Thanks for joining me.